What would you do if your husband of 28 years announced he was leaving you, not in private, not at home, but in front of 50 guests at your daughter's graduation dinner? Would you break down? Would you beg? Or would you smile? Because you'd been waiting for this moment all along. My name is Bianca Caldwell. I'm 54 years old, and this is the story of how my husband tried to humiliate me and how I turned his betrayal into my freedom. It happened at Amelia's graduation celebration. Our brilliant daughter, Honors sash still draped over her shoulders, sat beside me, glowing with pride. Glasses clinked, cameras flashed. It should have been her day. Then Gregory, my husband, stood with his champagne raised. He opened his mouth, but instead of a toast, he delivered a bomb. I've decided to start a new life without you. The room fell silent. Forks stopped mid-air. All eyes turned to me, waiting for tears, for a scene, for me to crumble. Instead, I smiled. Congratulations on your honesty. And I placed a cream-colored envelope on his plate. Something for you to read later, I told him, my voice steady. Then I kissed Amelia's cheek. This day is still about you, sweetheart. And I walked out. Outside, the Georgia heat wrapped around me. For the first time in years, I could breathe. Behind me, Gregory burst through the door, voice cracking. Bianca, what the hell is this? What have you done? But I didn't stop because I had been preparing for this day for months. Gregory always loved drama. 3 failed ventures. 2 finding himself phases. And me always the stable one. I raised our daughter, saved for her education, kept the bills paid. 3 months ago, I noticed transfers in our joint accounts, small but suspicious, and then messages on his unlocked phone. A younger woman, Cassandra Wells, jewelry, dinners, beachfront property, plans for their new life. He thought I was oblivious. What he didn't realize was that I remembered the prenuptial agreement he'd once forced on me. The one with the fidelity clause. The one that never expired. So while Gregory dreamed of his grand exit, I built my case. Evidence, bank records, recordings, divorce papers, all waiting for the perfect moment. When Gregory came home that night, suitcase half packed in the closet, fury in his eyes, he waved the envelope. You served me divorce papers today at Amelia's graduation. I thought it aligned nicely with your plans, I said calmly. He sneered. The prenup expired years ago. Actually, it didn't. I quoted Section 12 word for word. His own weapon turned against him. Color drained from his face. You can't do this to me, he whispered. You already did it to yourself. The fallout came fast. At the preliminary hearing, the judge reviewed the prenup. Her gavel came down like thunder. The fidelity clause stood. The accounts remained frozen. The house, the retirement funds, most of the investments mine. Gregory left the courtroom pale, shoulders slumped. The grand performance he'd planned had become the most expensive mistake of his life. Word spread quickly. Cassandra moved out within weeks, telling friends she hadn't signed up for a broke man with baggage. Our old friends stopped calling him, and I built something new. With the savings I'd quietly protected, I opened Caldwell Financial Transitions, a consultancy for women facing divorce and major life changes. Within 6 months, I had an office, 2 associates, and a waiting list of clients. For the first time, I wasn't someone's wife or someone's mother. I was a mentor, an advocate, a business owner. The final hearing arrived on what would have been our 29th anniversary. Poetic, really. Gregory walked in looking haggard. The judge upheld the prenup in full. He left with little more than his clothes and his failing business. I left with security, dignity, and something more important, myself. Sometimes people ask if I regret it, if I regret spending nearly 3 decades supporting a man who betrayed me. The answer is no, because in the end, his betrayal gave me the push I needed. The envelope I slid across that table wasn't just a trap. It was a key that opened the door to a life I never thought I'd live. And on the other side of that door, I didn't just find revenge, I found reinvention. So here's my question for you. In that moment when Gregory dropped his bombshell, what would you have done in my shoes? Would you have walked away quietly, knowing your spouse of almost 30 years is leaving you for someone younger? Or would you have handed over that envelope, knowing it would blow up in his face? Let us know your thoughts. And if you enjoyed this story, be sure to share it with others for some quick and easy relationship advice. This holiday season, it's never too early to plan ahead. Thanks for watching and see you next time. If you enjoyed this emotional roller coaster of a video, binge more stories like it on our channel. Anyways, binge more here and don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an upload.